Esteemed comrades, a very good day to you all. Today we are going to hold our next scheduled meeting, which will be devoted to the ongoing development of the situation within the area of the special military operation. I know that you have much to report, things that will bring joy and satisfaction to our citizens. We have achieved results and we will certainly discuss them. And we will also consider our most immediate tasks, our objectives for the very near future. Today I am asking the commanders of the center and east groupings to provide a report, as I have already stated, on the current operational situation in these specific sectors of the front, particularly in your assigned areas, and on the results of the combat missions that have been carried out by your subordinate troops. But first, as is our established practice from previous meetings of this kind, I ask the Chief of the General Staff to report on the overall situation along the line of combat contact. Please, Valery Vasilyevich.
Comrade Supreme Commander-in-Chief, the troops of the combined grouping are currently conducting a full-scale offensive operation across all directions. The command of the Ukrainian armed forces is undertaking desperate and ultimately unsuccessful attempts to halt our ongoing advance. The formations and military units of the North grouping are continuing to carry out their assigned tasks aimed at establishing a security zone within the border regions of Ukraine's Sumy and Kharkiv Oblast. Over the past 2 weeks, we have taken full control of the settlements of Vostok in Sumy region and Vilcha and Prilipka in Kharkiv region. The troops of the West grouping are currently carrying out the elimination of enemy formations that have been blocked on the left bank of the Oskol River to the east of Kupiansk. South of the Oskol River, Novoplatonovka has been liberated and the clearing of Boguslavka is nearing completion. In the Krasny Liman direction, an enemy group has been encircled in the settlement of Drobyshevo, and its destruction is currently underway. In Krasny Liman, fighting is taking place in the southeastern and eastern parts of the city. The southern grouping, after liberating Seversk, is rapidly advancing towards Sloviansk. Kirovo settlement has been liberated. Street fighting continues in Kostiantynivka. Over half of the city's buildings are under our control. The forces of the center grouping have successfully completed the routing of the encircled contingent of the Ukrainian armed forces and have now fully liberated the city of Dimitrov. The east group of forces is currently advancing in a westward direction within the Zaporizhzhia region and also across the entire territory of the Dnipropetrovsk region with the primary objective of establishing a security zone there. The city of Hulyaipole has been successfully liberated. Additionally, over the past 2 weeks, 5 more settlements have been successfully brought under control in these operational areas. The expansion of the bridgehead of the western bank of the Haichu River is steadily continuing. Assault units of the Dnieper group of forces are conducting offensive operations in the Zaporizhzhia direction, have liberated the settlement of Stepnogorsk, and are completing the destruction of enemy formations in Primorskoye and Lukyanovskoye. Comrade Supreme Commander-in-Chief, the fulfillment of tasks for the liberation of Donbas, as well as the Zaporizhzhia and Kherson regions, will be continued by the combined groupings units joining with the troops. The report is concluded.
Valery Vasilyevich, thank you. I see that all the tasks before us are being carried out in accordance with the plan of the special military operation approved and developed by the General Staff. Security strip is indeed being rapidly established in the border areas of Sumy, Kharkiv and Dnipropetrovsk regions. In Donbas and in Zaporizhzhia region, the offensive is underway along the entire line of combat contact. Russian forces are increasing pressure on Ukrainian armed forces formations. I would propose that we begin with the center group. Valery Nikolaevich, I would ask you to report on the current situation in your area of responsibility, please.
Comrade Supreme Commander, the troops of the center grouping are continuing to fulfill their operational objectives for the decisive defeat of the enemy forces within their designated area of operational responsibility in full accordance with the approved operational concept. In the Krasnoarmeysk sector, the 5th Motorized Rifle Brigade of the 1st Army, in conjunction with the 1435th Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 2nd Army, completed the destruction of Ukrainian armed forces formations in the city of Dimitrov and thereby completely liberated the city. Currently, the final clearing of urban blocks is being conducted. The evacuation of peaceful residents and operations to stabilize the situation around Dimitrov and Krasnoarmeysk. Additionally, north of the Krasnoarmeysk-Dimitrov agglomeration, the city of Rodinskoye was liberated by the 9th Motorized Rifle Brigade. The settlement of Volnoy was also liberated. Combat operations continue in the settlements of Suketskoye and Novy Donbass. Formations and military units of the Second Army are carrying out verification measures in Krasnoarmeysk, developing an offensive in the northern direction, and have evacuated more than 1,100 civilians. Assault units of the 41st Army are conducting offensive operations in Grishino. The enemy uses this populated area to concentrate reserves and conduct attacks in the direction of the northwestern part of Krasnoarmeysk. But despite this, it cannot achieve any results. Every single day across 3 distinct axes of advance, these are Grishino, the northwestern outskirts of Krasnoarmeysk, Shevchenko, moving towards Krasnoarmeysk, Sergeyevka, also heading towards Krasnoarmeysk, and finally Kopyono. The enemy suffers significant losses ranging from 60 to 120 or even 140 personnel. Infantry, which is continuously moving in the direction of these specific populated areas. It's always important to note that this elite of the Ukrainian armed forces, specifically the 82nd Air Assault Brigade and the 95th Air Assault Brigade, are ingloriously suffering significant losses. Absolutely nothing is working out for them there. Meanwhile, in the October direction, the settlement of Artemovka has been successfully liberated. An important populated area, which is one of the key points for a further advance in the northern direction in order to envelop the enemy's strategic defensive line, which runs through Kostiantynivka, Drushkivka, Kramatorsk, and Sloviansk, encompassing the western approach. An offensive is also developing in the Dnipropetrovsk region, where we are carrying out your instructions regarding the establishment of a security zone with the Donetsk People's Republic. The 90th Tank Division, operating in close coordination with the 41st Army, is currently engaged in the liberation of Novopavlovka. Combat operations are continuing in Novopodgorodnoye. Comrade Supreme Commander, all objectives assigned to this group will be successfully completed. This concludes the report.
Brigade units from September 6th to December 26th, 2025 carried out the mission to liberate Dimitrov. Considering the prevailing circumstances, the combat objective was broken down into 3 distinct phases. During the initial phase from September 6th to the 30th, the Brigade's Reconnaissance Battalion, utilizing the element of surprise and the results of concentrated fire, breached enemy defenses and advanced up to 1 kilometer in depth, establishing a bridgehead within the settlement. They managed to establish a foothold on the northeastern outskirts, more specifically along Mira and Koshevoy streets. The commitment of the assault group into battle was carried out concurrently from various directions, thereby confusing the adversary without clearly indicating the primary direction of the main offensive. During the second stage, from October 1st to November 2nd, with the objective of blocking the enemy's supply lines within the city, the assault teams of the 1st and 3rd battalions took control of the tree lines and the water purification station in the northern part of Dimitrov, thereby severing all access to the encircled Ukrainian armed forces group. Leveraging the positions they had secured and the prevailing weather conditions, the assault groups made a swift, decisive thrust onto the city's southeastern outskirts. As a result of continuous assault operations, by the end of November 22nd, the southern part of Dimitrov was completely liberated. In the 3rd phase, from November 23rd to December 27th, by increasing efforts with the deployment of assault groups from the 1st and 3rd Motorized Rifle Battalions, the brigade secured key positions in the city center by December 7th. Subsequently, they continued to eliminate the encircled enemy. Today, on the 27th of December 2025, the brigade has completed the routing of the AFU formation within the city. The city of Dimitrov has been completely liberated. Currently, a thorough inspection of buildings, structures, basements, and residential areas is underway, along with the search for an elimination of scattered small enemy groups. We have commenced demining operations on the streets and in buildings, providing medical and humanitarian assistance to the local populace. Comrade Supreme Commander-in-Chief, currently on the line from Dimitrov is the commander of the 1st Motorized Rifle Company, Senior Lieutenant Vladimir Vyacheslavovich Selenko, whose unit liberated the city. May I give him the floor? I am currently in the city of Dimitrov, next to Viktorovska Church. As of December 27, 2025, the city is now under our full control and the final clearing of the city is being completed.
We provide humanitarian aid to civilians, build up our defenses, and are ready to carry out further combat missions. On behalf of the brigade, I want to congratulate you on the upcoming new year. I wish you robust health and peaceful skies above your heads. Victory will be ours.
The Vostok group of forces continues its operations in the Zaporizhzhia sector. Formations and units of the group, having crossed the Goycho River, are advancing westward in the Zaporizhzhia region. Assault units of the 57th and 60th Motorized Rifle Brigades of the 5th Army completed the liberation of Hulyaipole by the end of December 26th. The city's residential areas were transformed by the enemy into a fortified zone. Overcoming the AFU's deeply echeloned defenses took 20 days. Currently, Hulyaipole is completely under our control, and we are searching for and eliminating isolated AFU groups. Units of the 36th Army have breached the enemy's defensive line on the western bank of the Goycho River, advancing into the Zaporizhzhia region towards major enemy logistics hubs. The penetration extends over 7 kilometers deep into the enemy's defenses. The 29th Army, advancing in the south of the Dnipropetrovsk region, continues to expand its security zone. Since early December, the group has taken control of over 210 square kilometers of territory in Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporizhzhia regions. 10 settlements have been liberated, 4 in Dnipropetrovsk region and 6 in Zaporizhzhia. Comrade Supreme Commander, the destruction of enemy formations within the group's area of responsibility is being carried out in full accordance with the approved plan. The Vostok group of forces is continuing its offensive operations. This concludes my report.